On this problem, we have two different investment options. Each one gives us $30,000. Now, in this one, though, investment A, you receive $12,000 in year one, $9,000. I think it's actually the other way around. $3,000 in year one, $6,000 in year two, $9,000 in year three, $12,000 in year four, and then investment B, you receive $12,000 in year one, $9,000 in year two, $6,000 in year three, $3,000 in year four. So what you're trying to do now is you're trying to figure out which one is the better option. They both give you $30,000 over 4 years. Which one would you prefer? Now, I hope your gut by now would tell you, hey, give me the one that gives me the more money up front. You know, investment B gives you $12,000 in year one, while investment A only gives you $3,000. And it probably will end up, as a spoiler alert here, investment B is going to be your winner, but we need to figure out why based on the present values. So what I want to do here, I'm just going to kind of write here on the left, outside of the boxes, you know, what the cash numbers are. It's 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, and 12,000. And your objective is to determine, should this cash flow amount be in the PMT box or in the FV box? And you need to decide which one is which. Well, again, let's review this again. PMT is saying, do you receive that amount every single year for however many years are in the NPER column? And I think the best way to illustrate that is, let's go backwards. Let's start with year four's money. In year four, we received $12,000 here. So you put number of periods, year four, when did it happen? Okay, year four. So now you ask, when you try to figure out what box to put the number in. First, in the PMT, is it an annuity? Did I receive $12,000 every year for 4 years? And the answer is no, so we're going to put a 0 in the PMT box. The second question for the FV box is, did I receive this $12,000 at the end of year 4? And the answer is yes, I only received it one time at the end of year 4, so the number goes in the FV. Right, same thing for this 9,000. When did I receive this? I only received it one time at the end of year 3. So I entered all of the rates already. 18%, you know, and then I have here number of periods. When did it happen? Year 3. Did I receive $9,000 every year for 3 years? No. So I put a 0 here. Did I receive it one time at the end of 3 years? Yes. Put it in the FV. Right, and each one of these is a one-time lump sum. The $6,000 at the end of year 2, and then really the $3,000 at the end of year 1 is actually a one-time lump sum. But technically, if I put that one in the payment, did I receive $3,000 every year for 1 year? Well, you could answer yes to both of those questions, so pick one or the other. To be consistent, I would put them all in the FV column. Right, so now the same thing here. We have our cash flows are just in reverse. 12,000, 9,000, 6,000, 3,000. Each of those numbers are going to go in the FV for the same reason as before, and not the PMT. Right, I received $3,000 one time at the end of year 4. That goes in the FV. So let's put zeros here for the payment. Then one more trick I'll show you here. Let's enter our present value, which is equals negative PV, open the parentheses. First parameter here is kind of a tool tip for you. Rate, 18%. I'm going to take cell C4. Make sure you take the cells and don't type numbers in this. Make sure you're typing cells. Number of periods, what cell has my number of periods? D4 for this line. PMT, which cell has the annuity? It's E4. And then FV would be F4. We're going to close the parentheses and hit enter. And there's the present value of the $3,000 you receive at year 1. And all I'm going to do here is just do some Excel tricks here. I'm going to, there's 3 different pluses, right? There's the kind of the empty, the hollow outline plus when you highlight a cell, and then there's the plus with the arrows coming out of it when you're on the green bar, and then there's this little solid plus when you get into the bottom right corner. I'm going to wait till my mouse is right there on that solid plus. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag down, and it's going to copy that formula down for me on each row. And if you just look at, say, let's look at the year 4 cash flow formula. Click in the formula bar, and you'll see that for this year 4 line, it took the parameters from year 4 automatically. So when you copied the cell, it copied the parameters down for you automatically, which was really nice. That was really quick. Then another thing I can do here is I can go Control C on this formula, and then I can paste it down in my investment B with a control V. Hit control and V at the same time. Boom. Now I have my present value of this year one cash flow, and then I'll copy all of those down right there. The last thing you're going to want to do is get a sum of all of these, and there's a couple ways to do that. I'm going to show you my bar here, which I had hidden. Right here you have a little auto sum button, so if I click on this cell where I want to put the sum first, then click on the auto sum, it automatically highlighted the 4 cells above. Hit enter and it added those 3 together. Okay, and you can do the same thing down here. I want to get an auto sum, add them together, and the sum of these 4 present values is the present value of the inflows of the investment. So that is really what you're looking for to compare. Investment B has a present value of $21,832 and 30 cents, and then investment A has a present value of $18,518. Right, so you receive $30,000 over 4 years on both of these investments. This one is the same thing as having $18,518.62 today. This one is the same thing as having $21,832.30 today. Which one would you pick? And the answer is pick the one with the biggest amount, that is the biggest present value in today's dollars. Okay, if you have any questions, email me on this one. Hopefully that helped you.